My name is SK and I'm a garden educator with School Garden Project of Lane County. Today I'm going to be leading you through a short tutorial where we use leaf rubbings. Using that leaf rubbing, we're going to learn the basic anatomy or parts of a leaf. This is one of my favorite art activities because it does a great job of blending the science and blending something artistic and know some of the basic parts that you might be looking at. To start, all you need is a piece of paper or notebook. You will likely need some crayon or chalk, and a bonus is a marker or pen in order to make detailed annotations or scientific notes about your leaf. You'll also need an actual leaf. You can pick any that you're interested in, but I usually go for ones with either really cool shapes or ones that have a sturdy backside. That's really useful when we're doing the rubbings because you can see the parts a lot easier. Something to keep in mind is that when you're collecting leaves, you might find a critter. So for example, on this leaf, I have a little spider that has hitchhiked in on my sample. This cute little guy is just looking to live its life, so if you happen to see a leaf that an animal is living on, I would say pick a different leaf or return that creature outside once you get the chance. Also, if you're nervous about accidentally bringing in a creature like a spider or a beetle or an ant, it's a good idea to get an adult to help you if you're a young person. The first thing that I'm going to do is turn to a clean page in my notebook. Then I'm going to select one of the leaves that I brought in. This is a leaf from a rhododendron plant, and these are pretty common in Oregon, which is where I live. The back side of this leaf is very sturdy, and you can feel the texture with your hands. On the front side, it's got this nice waxy surface, and if you hold it up to the light, you can even see things like the chlorophyll inside of the leaf. After selecting your leaf, put it under a piece of paper. This is a great time to practice your leaf rubbing skills. So I smooth the paper over the leaf, I take my chalk or my crayon, and I rub that chalk or crayon against the back of my leaf on the paper. And as you can see, the structure of the leaf is becoming really obvious. The more you color this in, the harder it's going to be able to see the empty spaces. So that was a really good practice round, but I'm going to practice it again. And maybe not press down so hard. You can see both of these pieces are showing a more colored in version where maybe the shape is really obvious. And this version right here is showing different parts of that leaf. Now we get to take our time to learn the anatomy of a leaf. Leaves will change their structure depending on what type of plant it is. We're going to start with the outline of the leaf. This is called the margin. The margin is just the outside of the leaf, and when you talk to a plant scientist, they might call it something like serrated or straight, and that basically means what pattern does the outside of the leaf have. So this rhododendron leaf that we originally started with, you can tell that it kind of has a bumpy or ridged outer margin. Next, we're going to talk about this mid vein. So kind of like humans, plants have veins, and so the mid vein is the strong, sturdy part of the leaf that helps give that leaf structure. So in my actual leaf, it's this very obvious middle part. We also have something called the petiole down here, and that's the part in between where the plant connects to the main stem, but before this actual leaf begins. So looking at the main plant, the petiole is this section between where the leaf begins and where it connects to that branch or stem of the plant. We also have something called the blade, and the blade is this inner green part here. So this is the blade of our plant. And so the blade is this part in between the different veins. And so these smaller veins here help to give structure to the plant, just like that mid-vein. However, the blade is all of those interconnected green fleshy bits in between those veins. So as I move my leaf around, you might notice that we can really see the blade of this leaf well. And if you look very close, you can even see things like the chlorophyll on the inside of that blade. That's the inner layer that is helping the leaf perform its job. Lastly, we have the tip of our leaf. The tip is part of the margin, but depending on what plant you're looking at, the tip can look really different. This tip is one of my favorite things to look for when I'm trying to identify a plant, because it often gives me good hints about what plant I'm looking at if I'm not completely sure. Leaf rubbings can look really different depending on what kinds of leaves you're using, and I encourage you to explore your outdoor environment in order to find really cool examples of leaves. Some of my favorite things to do with these different leaf rubbings is to add them to something like a card that I might send someone that I care about, or I might even make a scientific notebook about what kinds of plants I'm finding nearby me and how they might change throughout the seasons. With most leaves you find, you can still see the same basic parts, and even if the blade looks a little bit different, and even if the tip or the margins look a little different, you can still tell that this is obviously a leaf. Plants will oftentimes change colors, either in the blades of their leaves, or alternatively, there are some plants that are just different colors than green. It's really fun to find different shades of green and explore what kinds of biodiversity you have around you. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope that you're doing well, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you again.